That was the beginning of a wonderful friendship over 3 years' time. We communicated, had good interactions over research and a number of issues. We met for the first time here 3 years ago, and it's my great pleasure to introduce Cornelia to you tonight.
Poles are rather conservative in declaration, but regarding to their real value, is not so God concerned like Americans.
We need to change hearts of our nation, our elite, to have Holy Spirit in hearts of our elite. Especially, we would like to train new Christian elite for Poland. And for this reason too, we start a biblical Christian party, and we are strongly engaged in politics in Polish Protestant churches. This is treated as a sin. But political correctness is not our concept. So we go against the tide.
For many reasons, it's my great pleasure to have married a Polish person. And so therefore, my name is Gadomski, and that's the reason that we became acquainted. For the first time ever, Cornelia said to me, I recognize that name. Nobody recognizes that name. But when she began looking for a person at Liberty University in the psychology department, she recognized this name. That was the beginning of a wonderful friendship over 3 years' time. We communicated, had good interactions over research and a number of issues. We met for the first time here 3 years ago, and it's my great pleasure to introduce Cornelia to you tonight.
Thank you very much. It is a great pleasure and honor for me to speak at the biggest Christian university in the world, at Liberty University. And my name is Kornelia Chojecka. I'm from Poland, and I'm a newborn believer. I just graduated my psychology, and I want to describe the spiritual situation. And the title of my master thesis, the kind of authority among young adults in connection with their sense of life, comparison between Polish and American students and students from Liberty University. I think in Poland maybe is one of the most pagan regions in the whole world, because there is less than 1 per mile biblical Christian in our society, and mainly are Catholics. But at the beginning, I want to show you that we met 3 years ago with Professor Gadomski. I'm very glad that we can cooperate for 3 years, and we met also with her husband, Gary Gadomski. I know he's now with Jesus in heaven, but our short meeting gave such a great blessings now, and I'm very grateful for that. Thank you very much, and thank you for organizing. Thank you, Mrs. Lucy Christ, for organizing our meeting, and you guys from your clubs, psychology clubs. It's a very a great pleasure for me. I will also introduce our Polish team. 20 people from Poland came to Liberty University. Yeah, show you guys. Yeah, here's our team. Okay. And as you see, in USA you have almost half of society are Protestant, but on the graph you will see in Poland, Catholics is over than 90% of society, and Protestant is less than 0.5%, and half of them are nominal Protestant, that we know that there's a great need to preach gospel in Poland, because many Poles didn't read Bible in their whole life. It's something unusual to reading the Bible in Poland. And first, I would like to describe the latest research made by Pew Research Center about the age gap in religion around the world. And the study conducted in 106 countries, and data collected was for 8 years. And there's 4 questions. What is your present religion, if any? How often do you attend religious services? How important is religion in your life? And how often do you pray? And I would like to show and emphasize that in Poland, the difference in religiousness between younger generation and older generation is the largest among served country. I think it's important to this conclusion is important, and it shows that maybe Poland is now a nominal Christian conservative country, but we see it's changing, and it's changing rapidly. Okay, and the difference also in going to the church and praying, and we are the only country in Europe where significantly more young people go to the church than pray every day. I call this religiousness for show. And a conclusion from the Pew Research Center is that the most secular from the whole countries is the rich north, but the United States is the exception, and the most religious is the poor south, and Poland is on the 4th place in the European Union, but because of older than younger adults. You see on the map. Okay, and I also would like to show you that Poland has the most positive attitude to the United States among the European Union countries, and almost 80% of Poles have a positive attitude to United States, as you see on the graph. And Poland was the first country in Europe where President Donald Trump went to meet with citizens in Warsaw in 2017. And here's American soldiers with our members of our church, Make Poland Great Again. The research program in my master thesis was examination of the relationship between the type of moral authority and experiencing the meaning of life, which consists of fundamental references to oneself. And the second research problem, explanation of the differences between young Poles and Americans in the sense of life and the sources of their moral authority. Participants was from the Polish side, the students of the John Paul II Catholic University of Lublin. It's one of the biggest and oldest Catholic university in Poland. And from the United States are students from York University, the biggest Christian university in the world. And most of responders were psychology students. It was in 2016. And results of my master thesis, and in contrary to my own assumptions, there is no significant relation between a kind of moral authority and the sense of life. But my assumptions regarding differences between Poles and Americans in the sense of life were in most cases confirmed. I think that it's really important that Polish and American students are similar in the field of goal seeking, in openness of new experience. And I will back to this conclusion later in my presentation. According to Supreme authority for respondents from Poland and United States, you see a great disproportion between Poland and United States, because almost all American students indicate to God as a moral authority, but among Polish students is less than half of respondents. I think it's really important that Poles are rather conservative in declaration, but regarding to their real value, it's not so God concerned like Americans. And Liberty University is Protestant, rather Protestant Christian university, and Poles from John Paul II university are like Catholic elite. It's one of the most conservative, but as you see, there is a disproportion. And conclusion from my master thesis is that American students have a stronger sense of life and more balanced approaches to life than Polish students, but this group did not differ in a motivation to seek goals in life. That's why I think there is a chance for the future we can cooperate in this field, and it's important to mention it when we talk about preaching gospel in Poland. And I think it is a result of our religion in our country, that this is not Christian religion. This is Catholicism, as I mentioned before. And this is a very important conclusion, that almost all servant Americans indicated God as a source of moral authority, while among respondents from Poland is less than a half indicate God as a source of moral authority. And the fact that Polish students have a greater sense of control of their lives could be explained by Poles relying more on themselves than on God. Okay, and the explanation of this conclusion, superficial Polish religiousness, as you see this highest age gap in the religion in Poland. My research also indicates that Polish religiousness is associated with God only in verbal declaration, and the real value system is based on other values than God and His Word. I also emphasize that Polish respondents are not typical one, are Catholic elite, and we can only expect that the rest of the youngest generation in Poland will be even more indifferent to God. And as I say, I think it's a chance for the future that Poles and Americans are similar in the area of motivation to search for meaning and new experience. And also our countries has a similar culture and the history, and my father will continue this subject. The application of my master research would be using the result as a potential to search of meaning of life and openness for new experience among Poles, to present the gospel to them in new creative ways. And actually it happens. In 2016 we made such an attempt to combine current politics with the Bible, and we start a daily program in our television. It's called Go Against the Tide TV. And as you see on the graph, God gave such great blessings through this ministry. We called it Mega Church Project. It's combining church, media, university, and party. And as you see, since 2016, there's a great growth in the number of baptists and growth of our church. And this year, in our church, we have almost 100 baptisms. And as you see before, it was like 1 or 2 person per year. It's a huge, huge blessings. some photos, and at the end of our presentation we will show you the short movie from our ministry. And okay, what can we do together? I think it will be the time after my presentation to talk about the future, but we pray for the delegation from Liberty University to come to Poland and preach the gospel with us, because now in Poland something has changed. Many people are interested in reading the Bible, and we have more than 25 Bible groups in Poland and abroad, as you see in our leaflets. Thank you for your attention.
I would like to show in a short way Polish history, and I think that we will together discover some interesting things. The Polish history, I pick up this graph for you on the horizontal level. You have dates, years, and in this the second version, vertical, you had God's blessings. So I don't want go deeply into our history. I will show you some few details from it. First is that Poland has a very long history to be the land of greatest tolerance in Europe. You see this date, 1096, is the time when Poland welcomed Jews for whole Europe, which were persecuted in this time. You can see this event when Polish king welcomed Jesus' nation, Jewish nation to Poland. And the second point in our history is the Great Battle of Grunwald. It was the largest battle in this time. Poland stand against the Catholic crusade against our land, and we conquered it. In this time, we have got the first Bible translation into our language. It was 100 years before times of Luther. And the next place in history is very interesting. I would like to ask you a question. What is the first Protestant country in the history? Not United States, we agree. Maybe some of you think about England. Yes, it was, but it was the second country in history. The first one was part of Poland, because the first Protestant country in the history was Prussia. And Prussia, when decided to be a Lutheran country, asked Paul's king of Poland, to have carried of them. It's the homage of Lutheran Prussia prince to Polish king. And as you see on my diagram, it's the time for the biggest God's blessing in the whole history of our nation. In our history, we call it the Golden Age, and it is connected with the times when Reformation came to Poland. And after it, you will the biggest conquest of our history. We are the one nation in the whole history which conquers the Moscow. Napoleon, as you probably know, took power on Moscow, but only with buildings, without of people. But Poland, Polish king, was a ruler of Russia for 2 years, but it was once in the history. It's a turning point in our history. It is the end of Christian Reformation, and it is the beginning of Jesuit counter-reformation. And the lot of our nation go down to liquidation for a few years, even our state. It was in very close distance, the golden age and the liquidation of our country. Let's change our eyes to the United States history. You are very familiar with this history, so I will not talk about these things for you, but a surprise, I think, will come when we combine these two diagrams. Let's do it. And have you seen something strange? That we have a very big God's blessings when we are faithful to God and His Word. But when our nation, nobles of our nation, change their mind to be faithful to man, to Pope in Rome, we lose God's blessing, we lose our independence, we lose our state. It's a big lesson for all nations from our history. And you see the combination of these two dates, the peak of our history and the beginning of your history. In the same time, fathers of American people came to America by Mayflower. It's the same time. So my thesis is that God took away His blessing from our nation because of our disobedience, of course, and passed it by to your nation. So now, today, God is crossing the paths of our nation again. President Trump needs an ally in Europe in the fight against the new empire of evil, China, Russia, Islam. And Poland is the largest country that still opposes the liquidation of national states. 5,000 American soldiers are now in Poland, but the military alliance is not enough. We need to establish a civilization alliance between Poland and America. There is only one way to do that. Make Poland Christian again. It's my article about this civilization alliance, and we can pass it. There is our project. If you need more information, you will find it in our short presentation on paper in the corner. The mega church project is not to build a building for a huge church. It's a project to change the whole nation. And as you are very familiar in the liberty strategy, it's almost the same with one exception. First, the church, the first pillar of this project is the church as a Thomas Road Baptist Church. Exactly 3 years ago, when we came here and Professor Gadomski invited us to Thomas Road Baptist Church, in this moment, during service of of this church, we believe that God can do the same in Poland, which what was made here in Liberty University. We have different circumstances, of course, but we believe the same God. When Pastor Paweł could afford this big project, we can do the same. So, our church is not big, but has a, as you see in the diagram, has a big role. The second pillar is Christian modern media, and Cornelia said more about it before. The third is to start a Christian university. We have some experience in that organizing, for example, here is the Creationist Conference with Dr. Mortenson from Creation Museum. And the last is something new maybe for you. You have many Christian politicians in your nation and in your government. In Poland, there are only Catholics, politicians, or communist one, without of the Spirit of God, both of them. And your motto is, where there is Spirit of God, what is? The liberty. So we need to change hearts of our nation, our elite, to have Holy Spirit in hearts of our elite. Especially, we would like to train new Christian elite for Poland. And for this reason too, we start a biblical Christian party, and we are strongly engaged in politics in Polish Protestant churches. This is treated as a sin. But political correctness is not our concern. So we go against the tide. Thank you.
Over 200 participants. On Saturday evening, we all went to the ruins of the Janowiec Castle near Lublin. During the Golden Age, when Protestant Reformation reached Poland, the castle belonged to the Firles family, one of the most known Polish Protestant families. A 16th century historical reenactment attracted a few hundred people who heard about our television. In the ruins of the Protestant chapel we had a concert of Christian songs. It was probably for the first time since 1600s that Bible-believing Christians praised God there.
Wszędzie była pustka, niebo czarne bez gwiazd. Nasz Pan, On potężny jest. On przemówił w ciemności i stworzył ten świat. Nasz Pan, On potężny jest. On osąd i karę wylał na Sodomę, zmiłowanie i łaskę na krzyżu nam dał. Mam nadzieję, że zawsze będziemy to pamiętać, że nasz Pan potężny jest. Nasz Pan, On potężny jest wśród chwał. Na niebiosach patron nim miłość, mądrość, moc. Nasz Pan, On potężny jest. Nasz Pan, On potężny jest wśród chwał. Na niebiosach patron nim miłość, mądrość, moc. Nasz Pan, On potężny jest. Nasz Pan, On potężny jest wśród chwał. Na niebiosach patron w nim miłość, mądrość, moc. Nasz Pan, On potężny jest. Nasz Pan, On potężny jest wśród chwał. Na niebiosach patron w nim miłość, mądrość, moc. Nasz Pan, On potężny jest.
Next day we started the spring-summer baptism season. Yet another 20 Christians bore their testimonies about their saving faith in Jesus Christ and were baptized.
Dzięki Ci za cudną łaskę Twą. Do nóg Twych padam w kornej czci. Niebiosa chwałą brzmią. Niebiosa chwałą brzmią. Niebiosa chwałą brzmią.
And during our second time at Liberty University, we we again believed in greater things, that the same God has have the ability to do it in Poland, and you are a great encouraging for us. And if you have some questions about Poland, about our ministry or my master research and megachurch project, we are open. Yeah. Maybe somebody has a question? When I was preparing my master thesis, I just mentioned about very differences between culture in Europe and especially Poland and United States, and I think it's connected in believing in real God, because Poles are rather sad, they are not so positive thinking like Americans, and they rather in their mind have some kind of slave mentality, but there are some similarities like openness for new ideas, a love of freedom. Also, that I think we could cooperate on this basis. Yeah. Thank you.
I would like to add something to this question. As you know, the knowledge of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Poles are Catholics or atheistic in their thinking. So the whole nation is disconnected with God and His Word, and it is the main cultural difference between Poland and America. When I came to Jesus 32 years ago, it was during my study on Technical Institute in Krakow. I'm not educated pastor in the theological seminary and so on. I'm an engineer, and I came to Christ and started to preach the gospel in my dormitory, and a small group of people came to Christ too, and I need to pastor them, and it was the beginning of my ministry. And after studies, we moved with my wife to Lublin, and we this time we were Catholics, so we worked with Catholic Crusade for Christ for a while, and still were Catholic. But after reading Acts, we came to conclusion that to reach nation to Christ, you need not only preach the gospel, but plant churches, plant biblical churches. It was our very astonishing discovery from reading Acts, and we left Catholicism in this moment and start to build a new church. For almost 20 years, there was not a big fruit of that ministry, as you have seen on this diagram. But 2 or 3 years ago, we start television broadcasting by YouTube, and when we connected it with politics, it was huge growth in interest among Poles, and through politics, much of them came to know Jesus personally. The rest, through creationism. So we emphasize these 2 areas: what God said is say in politics area, and from where are our beginnings.
You're actively working with the United States. It seems that your emphasis is on America. Are you also working with other countries with the megachurch and the same ideals you're maybe drawing from other universities in other countries?
We have some connection with Hungary in Europe, and also Croatia. We've been in Croatia several times and met them real biblical Christians. And other countries? From Ukraine, because our city is near border with Ukraine, and in our city a lot of students from Ukraine. Yeah.
But the inspiration for us is coming from your states. You are the leading Christian republic in the whole history, so powerful, so right. From our perspective, you probably will not agree with you are a great Christian country now, but from our perspective, still you are the very big inspiration for the whole world.
Thank you for your attention and great inspiring questions, and I hope we will soon visit again with Liberty University. And
We are so grateful and honored that you were visiting us and sharing your presentation. What means a great deal to us, and we would like to extend a gift to you and your father and mother and all 20 of you. So we have those to disperse right now. Thank you so much for such a blessing.
We're standing on the ground that for 3 years we have prayed that will one day be the site of the greatest Christian school in the world. We've prayed that way. We believe God gave us this mountain for that purpose. I've said to these young people repeatedly, and I say it again to you today, you are the hope of America. When you leave the graduation platform of Liberty, I want you to leave it running. Leave it running with a vision burning in your soul. You're going to change this world for Christ. Don't look around and wonder who it is. Say, God, make it me. Make it me. Because we're training champions. That's a part of the vision. Write the vision, make it plain. We're training champions to change the world.
Those words, spoken by Dr. Jerry Falwell, cast a vision that brought us to this mountain. Those who were around during the early years remember attending convocation in a 3,000-seat tent because no building on campus could hold all the students. Then there was the winter of 1977, when the building they'd been using for classes was scheduled for demolition. Their response was to stand in the snow for 2 hours, praying. Welcome to Liberty, where we train champions for Christ. Welcome to a world of audacious dreams, a world where strong character is built with grit and grace, a world where men and women go out bravely to fix what's broken. What one man dreamed, his son built. 10 years ago, President Falwell picked up the mantle his father laid down, and the university has been flourishing in ways thousands of faithful dreamers had seen only in their prayers. Our tradition of unwavering faith is their legacy, because you are what they prayed for.
Graduates, you will face seemingly insurmountable hardships and obstacles often throughout your career. At times, everything will seem hopeless and every fiber of your being will be screaming for you to quit and give up on your dreams. But persevering in those darkest hours is what separates the winners from the losers. Only if you press on will you achieve greatness.
In less than 50 years, 154 students have become 110,000. Missed paydays have become a billion-dollar campus, and what began as a preposterous dream has become the largest Christian university in the world. With elite Carnegie status and FBS football, oh, we're coming, and we're coming to win, but we're not leaving our convictions behind. We still have the privilege, the right, and the responsibility to show the world what Jesus looks like. we still believe that hard work, courage, and integrity define our faith as much as compassion and kindness. We are bold. We are innovative. We are faithful and diligent. We celebrate both our diversity and our unity as one family. At Liberty, the privilege to mentor the next generation of Christian leaders is not something we take lightly, because virtues necessary for a praiseworthy life are not built overnight. They require scholars with determination, creativity, and a passion for wisdom. Our faculty have done great things, helped invent hearing devices for the deaf, done groundbreaking research on technology addiction, influenced the way crime labs use DNA analysis. They have written film scores, won Emmys, and made headlines in archaeology, philosophy, and paleontology. But their greatest legacy will be you. We defy the stereotypes that others try to impose on us. Your classmates are directing their own films, interning at NASA, and taking on poverty across the globe. While the world sees champions as only victors, we will reclaim the word and its meaning. We, the champions, in order to affirm our tradition of unwavering faith, ignite a passion for wisdom, challenge perspectives, inspire creativity, and pursue knowledge. Do resolve to be the voice for the voiceless, bring healing to the hurting, fight for the oppressed, defend freedom, defy stereotypes, and follow God's calling wherever it may lead. It is who we are. It's what we stand for. It always has been and always will be.